This is Blueprint. You're watching Backspin TV.
It's my time, I'm about to blow. You slept first, but now you know the rap game. 1,000 clones, all worried about they clothes. I used to chill at my home, now I'm all about the road. Moving, locking down the shows. Hit the telly, count the dough, shake hands, make plans, rent vans, make fans. Goddamn, this is how a little boy became a man. You want the fame?
The concept behind how the album sounds was to make a record that reflected all of our influences. Instead of making a hip-hop record that sounds like a bunch of hip-hop records, I wanted to make a hip-hop record that kind of reminded me of when I first heard hip-hop, when guys like Afrika Bambaataa and all those guys would DJ parties and would play every type of music, but it was considered hip-hop because of how they played it and how they freaked it. So I thought taking that concept and then like not making the underground rap record, you know, like I thought everyone around me was making like underground rap records made by underground rappers. And I thought that we all have influences that are so much wider than what we show on record. So I wanted to make a record that showed all of my inspirations, all of my influences, and do it in a way that was still hip hop.
Make good music and give my fans something to smile about. You ought to try it out. We like to call it honesty.
I'm disturbed by the imagery of it. I don't like how it looks. I don't like how it depicts women. I don't like how rappers have to be like tough guy all the time. I don't like how I don't like the views of money. I don't like how it doesn't necessarily speak for the youth or for the voices of revolution anymore. I used to feel like hip hop was a voice of the community. Whereas if something bad was happening in the community, hip-hop would voice that. You know, I felt like with KRS One and with Boogie Down Productions and Public Enemy and all those groups in the early 90s and late 80s, I felt like hip-hop at that point was a voice of the community. It can be more. It doesn't have to be just that. You know, it can still be party music. I just think that there should always be an outlet for it to be used as a voice of the community, as a voice of the youth. And I don't necessarily think hip-hop is speaking to the youth right now, or even if it is, the youth are not using it to be as powerful of a tool as they could. And so a lot of that I think is because it's used as a commercial vehicle. You know, the powers that be kind of control the content, and therefore it's used more for advertisement than it is for the spreading of ideas or a new collective identity, which we all have. You know, like there's progresses that have been made during our generation that a lot of people have not voiced on record. And I think that when we voice it, when we say it, then it becomes our collective voice, and we can use hip hop as like a unifying thing. But if we just use it to be the tool of a corporation, then it'll never be the voice of, you know, our generation and our youth.
So when it's time to break bread, cause they don't ask me for nothing. Everybody got a rhyme. If not a rhyme, they got a beat. If not keys and cocaine.
Yeah, it's a lot different over here. I think the biggest thing here and now is because we come here less often. It feels there's like a new energy with all of us where we feel like we're putting in important work for rhyme sayers, and kind of because we haven't done a rhyme sayers tour in the United States. We're trying it out here for the first time. And so the camaraderie and the friendship and the fellowship that comes along with that is brand new for us. Being in places where none of us familiar makes us more social. You know, like we get to cities now and we go out and we go see the cities. If we were doing this in the United States, you know, if you go to New York every 3 months, you kind of get bored of New York a little bit, or you know so many people there that you don't have to be social. Here, it's beautiful because it's all discovery, and it's a different country. It's not just a different city within the United States. Like, these are different cultures every night, you know, that we've been seeing for most of the tour. That's different. And then honestly, I think people in Europe actually move more at shows. Like in the United States, people kind of do some of this, you know, but here when the show's going, you know, there's a lot of this. And it's beautiful to watch, you know, because you're doing this on stage. It's good that people out there are doing it with you. And it's small, but it means a lot that people are getting into it physically and are not like standing there staring at you, you know, which is terrible.
Because I do the impossible, but I make it look easy. Now all the underdogs want to take shots at my figure.
I hope not. I hope. I don't think I could ever go into politics because they have what's called, what do they call it? A vetting process, where basically they dig up all your dirt and everything you've ever said as a kid. And I'm sure if I ever ran for a political office, the first thing they would look up is my records, and all my cursing and all the crazy shit I've said on record would come back to haunt me if I ever ran for a political office. But I mean, I do consider myself to be politically involved. I do consider myself to be, or I strive to be a person who is active in my community. You know, I go to rallies, like they have the Occupy movement that's going on in the States right now with Occupy Wall Street. I went to that in Oakland, California. I was out there on vacation. And then I went down there to one of the protests and rallies down there. There was a big rally in Columbus, my hometown, where some corporations were trying to pass some anti collective bargaining stuff. And I went to that. And, you know, I try to be outspoken as I can, not necessarily to like, I don't want to sort of tell people who listen to me that you should do it or you should be I just want people to know that it's okay. Like if you do, activism is hip hop, because hip hop is part of the youth, and it's okay to spread information that way. So I'll try to let people know that I am aware of these situations and that I do participate. I don't do it just so that I can brag about it or be the political rapper, because I don't consider myself a political rapper, but I am politically aware and socially aware and trying to become more and improve myself.
They all packing heat, so what they really telling me when they ain't out selling me? And everything they say you do is fueled by their jealousy. I know you trying to politic.
Yeah. I mean, I don't try to. I try to avoid. I mean, we're already around each other 24 hours a day, you know, so that's why sometimes like they were backstage and I was out there by myself, because sometimes it's cool to not see everybody 24 hours a day. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.